Welcome to our Players 1 and All. Today on Straight to the Point, we're going to be taking a quick look at the Mission Precision Dart Fitting.
In your goodie bag, you got your t-shirt. The t-shirt is superb. I do like it. Precision. And let's get into the exciting stuff. So the goodie bag. And that is the goodie bag. An hockey measure. The board leveler. 2 stitch-on Mission Dart stitch-on things. Badges. And a badge you can put on your top.
I want to hear Sam's thoughts. Now, Sam was more positive when he made this video than he is now.
I went to Mission Precision yesterday for the dart fitting with Andy Cornwell. It was a really good experience. I drove from South Wales. It took 3.5 hours to get there. And I was in there 35 minutes max.
Now, on reflection, that's something Sam's really unhappy with. That's one of the things he's unhappy with, is that he booked for an hour. He's only got to try out the equipment for half hour. So, yeah, that's not good. And it does, you actually book an hour slot on the website. I've checked it. There's a drop-down list for hours. So if you're not just selling the service, he's actually selected 1 hour, and he's only had half hour of his time. Yeah, I don't like that either. That's not good. But if he's got out with the right dart, you pay for the expertise, fair enough. But still, some people are going to... He's travelled 3.5 hours to get there. Yeah, this was a big trip for Sam. He wanted to go and do this. This was something he really looked forward to. So, to only be there, walk in and then just come and walk in and out, I mean, that's not really what he went there for. It's not what he bought. So, but if he's got the right dart.
He found why these darts fit for me. I grip right at the back there, so he said because of my throw, I need the grip to flush the dart more. And he said, because I'm like a looper throw, I loop it over. He said I gotta have a small shaped flight to get the dart landing better and faster to the board. These are my darts. They're called Mission Crypt M1, and
you should never be looping the dart though. A little bit more parabolic curve. Some people have a little bit more, some people have a little bit less, but maybe it's just the way Sam's wording it. But if you're doing that, don't. You should always be able to see that dart in flight to the dartboard. If it's disappearing and reappearing, not good.
These are 24 gram. I was throwing straight barrels, dimmies, 23 gram. Once he's happy with the darts that he's going to pick for you, he'll let you try Cosmo, L-style and Condors, and whatever flying best he'll pick for you. But for £250, I thought a bit steep.
So there's a couple of things there. So he was also unhappy that he only got to try one length of shaft and one size of flight. That's, again, that is a problem. I mean, I could generally estimate what's going to be better for someone anyway. Yeah, but, and I'm sure Andy could, he's been playing a long time, but you always really want to be testing these things. He was also unhappy that on the video that they have on the website, he talks about potentially looking at your throw in slow motion. He didn't do any of that. So he spent half hour with him instead of an hour. He didn't feel like he looked at his throw in a lot of detail. He didn't get to try different size flights. He didn't get to try different length shaft. He didn't get to try different points because Andy Cornwell apparently doesn't believe in changing points. He believes in using the same points that come with the dart. And he quoted him as saying, I don't know if this is true, this is just what Sam's quoted him as. Okay, so I'm taking his word for this. But he quoted him as saying if he had half hour with Luke Littler would use shorter points. If that's true, I bet. Which I don't know if it is, but if it is true, that's nonsense. You know, I'm not having that. Another thing this customer was unhappy with was when he watched a few videos on YouTube of people going to the precision fitting. They all seem to be coming out with the same shape of dart, something like Andy Hamilton would throw, similar to what he had there. There's one with Max Healy, it's the same shape, and there's another one with Love Darts, which is very much the same shape. It's got that front taper, a little bit more bulbous towards the rear. I mean, that just could be a coincidence, though. That could just be sheer coincidence. But he wasn't happy with that. So why am I making the video? Okay, so I'm making the video for 2 reasons. One, this customer doesn't have a platform. But 2, I've always been skeptical of this service, because if you're going there with an inconsistent throw, if your throw's different day to day, he's only going to be able to pick the dart that's suitable for you on the day, which is why I try not to get into equipment discussions with clients until they've had quite a few sessions. So that's one reason I'm skeptical. Okay, so I'm quite skeptical that if your throw is not consistent, no dart is going to fly consistently. Yeah. And I think this is going to appeal, as a service, this is going to appeal more to beginners and people who are obsessed with darts. Primarily those. People who are just addicted to darts. Like Sam. Sam is totally addicted. I promise you, Sam's got more darts in one of his darts cases than he tried on that day. Loads of darts. He's tried hundreds and hundreds of sets. He stuck with this set for about 24 hours. Before going back to his Dimmy darts, Dimitri Vandenberg's. So it didn't really work for him. But you do have to stick with the dart as well. So if you're going there under the perception that someone's just going to evaluate your throw, that's not going to happen. If you think they're going to look at the way the dart flies, it's probably not going to happen in a lot of detail, from this experience at least. If you think they're going to pick a dart and you're going to play a lot better, again, probably not going to happen. You need to get your throw consistent. That's the most important thing. If your throw is not consistent, it's no good. I do think there's a customer out there for this service, though. So if you're wondering if this service is for you, I would ask yourself these questions. 1, do you have a consistent throw? Are you getting roughly the same numbers on the board? And when I say same numbers on the board, I'm saying between a 50 and a 60 average, or 60 to 70, quite consistently. Like Matt Healy. Yeah, and Matt Healy's a very good dart player. So, yeah, you can assess and roughly how the dart's going to go. But I would still like to try different flight systems, and I'd also expect to have the flight path of the dart filmed in slow motion. Otherwise, there's a little bit more guesswork than there should be. So this particular customer wouldn't go again. He wouldn't recommend going. But I do think there's a customer out there for it. I do. It's just definitely not him. Or me. Could be you. Do what you will with that. But that's it for today. Thank you for watching Straight to the Bike. Please remember to like and leave a comment. And as always,
subscribe if you love the darts.